What's up, YouTube? Hey, it's Dale again. Just wanted to do a quick update on my situation. This is more of a personal update than a bus update because technically, since my last video, I haven't really done anything on the Slacker box or the bus or pretty much anything. Because if you watch my last video, you know that back in October of last year, I had a total knee replacement done and was recovering from that during that video. Well, we've had a couple of developments since then that, are not what I had planned to have in my next update. Anyway, what happened was I got the knee replacement, was doing great. Everything was going fine, was walking without a cane, any of that good stuff. I finished my physical therapy and was waiting on my 90-day visit to my orthopedic surgeon. And on, I think it was like the 22nd of January, which was a Thursday, I was outside piddling around trying to do a couple of little things and just wasn't feeling well. So I came inside, laid down, and I think it was sometime Saturday that I finally kind of went, oh, I need to get out of bed. And tried to get out of bed and couldn't stand up, couldn't walk, and was in some of the worst pain that I've ever been in. There again, I don't handle pain really well myself, so, anyway. So, I think it was Friday or Saturday that my kids were going, oh, you should go to the emergency room, whatever. And with it being on the weekend, I'm like, well, I can't, my orthopedic surgeon's not going to be in his office. I can either go to the urgent care at Watson Clinic, which is my health care facility here in Lakeland that I go to, or I can go to the emergency room. Then I got to thinking about it, and I said, well, if I go to urgent care and they're just going to wind up sending me to the emergency room anyway. So I hem-hawed around, and finally my kids convinced me on Sunday to actually go to the emergency room. We called an ambulance. They came, loaded me up, took me to the hospital. And, when you go in an ambulance, the good thing is they take you right to the front door and take you in, put you in a room all by yourself. You don't have to wait out in the lobby with whatever's in the lobby at that time, and you don't have to wait for an hour and a half to be seen. You go right in. So anyway, I go in, they put me in a room, they come in, I told them, what was going on. They did some x-rays, they did some other tests, and a guy came in and drained some fluid off my knee to check for an infection, which is technically an infection after this type of operation is really rare. I did some research here recently and found out that basically, and it depends on which article you're reading, but the infection rate on a knee replacement surgery is anywhere from 0.5% to about 2%. And lucky me, I'm the 1%. So anyway, a guy comes in, drains the fluid off my knee, and he says, I can't really say until we have this all tested that you have an infection, but because of the amount of fluid that I've drained off knees over the years, he said, I can pretty much tell you have an infection, because most fluid when it comes off the knee looks like a urine sample. Mine looked like, I say, turkey gravy. It was nasty looking. So anyway, they put me, got me a room up in wherever it was, and I was there for about 3 days getting antibiotics. The surgeon that did my original surgery recommended that I have this other orthopedic doctor do the revision surgery, which is what they call it. And because this guy apparently has way more experience with this operation, the revision operation, than a lot of people in town. So anyway, did that, and he came in, and I think it was like, let me see if I can look at the calendar. It was about the 28th of January, somewhere in there. Anyway, they do the operation, and I spent like 8 days in the hospital. So that tells you something. When the original surgery, I was in there for less than 24 hours. This surgery, I was there for almost 8 days, because they come in. Basically, what they did was they reopened my knee, and in that knee replacement, it's metal, two metal pieces, one on each of the bones, and then there's some plastic or whatever it's made out of stuff that those two metal pieces slide up and down on. And what they do is, because it's a blood infection, apparently the blood, is flowing through your body. It hits the implant, doesn't know what to do, and then it starts coating those plastic pieces with the bacteria or the infection or whatever. And so they take all that plastic out, put new plastic in, sew you back up, put you back in your room. And I was on, IV antibiotics for the rest of the time I was in the hospital. They finally, I got home, I think it was the 2nd of February. And since then, as you can see behind me right here, I have an IV pole that every day I have to give myself through this PICC line a bag full of antibiotics. It's a 30-minute drip. And so I'm doing that. And that goes until the 28th of this month, which will be the last day for that. And then they'll, at some point, I hope that Friday, they'll take this PICC line out. I've also been using these. This is an injectable blood thinner, and I think I have like 4 or 5 more days on it. So I have to do that in addition to all the other stuff that I've already been taking. And so in the last update, I was planning on going to the Daytona 500 with Mike Fuhrer and his dad and brother. Obviously, I did not make it to that. And I was also going to go to the Schoolie Swarm, which obviously that starts today. And I'm not going to make it to that. I mean, I was looking on Facebook, and I don't know if you probably won't be able to see it. Let me turn this around. Swarm has started. This was posted at like 8:30 this morning, and they're already checking in. There was probably 10, 12 buses in that picture. So I wish everybody at the Swarm, if you see this, have a great time. Sorry I can't make it. Anyway, like I said, I got a whole pamphlet full of exercises that I'm doing for physical therapy. Don't know exactly how many in-home visits they'll do, and then when that's done, we'll do some where I have to go somewhere to do physical therapy. I don't know. To me, it's kind of a waste of time, in my opinion. It's probably not, but it feels like it, because you have to, you're probably a 30-minute drive from wherever you got to go. Then you're there for 30 to 45 minutes. Then you got to drive, and it's basically the same exercises that are right here in this pamphlet. So we'll see. Anyway, that's pretty much, what's going on. I haven't done, like I said, anything on the bus or the box truck, or even, around the house. I've just kind of been taking it easy. I do have a walker that I use for the first week and a half, and then I have a cane that I use. Right now, the walker is handy because a lot of these exercises that they have me doing, you need like a chair or something to support yourself, and it's just as easy to use the walker to do that. Anyway, I just thought I'd give everybody a quick update and let everybody know that there again, I wish I was at the Swarm, wish I'd been at the 500. It was, what I watched on TV was a pretty decent race, so we'll see how that goes in the future. Anyway, keep your projects rolling, stay safe, have a bunch of fun while you're out there. If you like this video, or even if you don't, leave a comment, give it a like, all that kind of good stuff, and we'll see you the next time. Have a good one. Bye.